Over here, we're going to squeeze ace, king, 7, 7 double. Okay, my opponent does 4-bet. And now the question becomes, punt, cold calls. Do we want to jam? Do we want to just call? Leaning towards just ripping it in 3 ways. Okay, so we jam, run into weaker hands, but we managed to hit. Yeah, so the reason I jammed there is because I don't think my opponent has that much incentive of calling and a lot more incentive to 4-bet bluff because all the other players are behind. So the frequency with which hands get turned into bluffs, 4-bet bluffs, I think is much higher comparatively to a game where you don't have as many cold callers. Against I punt, 3-betting, of course, pretty standard. I like betting small on the flop. I think he's going to float a bunch of different crappy hands. Oh, he's even bluff raising now. Probably just has like a lone king, something bad like that. So we want to string it along and just call. Obviously, he can have king, king, and we don't want to put in 300 big blinds, but I feel obviously pretty good with my hand. The 8 is a blank. He's not really using... I mean, the 8 is blocking 8-8 now. It's kind of a good card, actually. He pots the turn. It's actually kind of nice. It's probably using the queen or the king now. So we just call... that's weird. I would have expected him to give up a lot here on the river. Yeah, I guess just got to die with this hand in case he has. At this point, with this many chips he puts into the middle, he basically saying is 8-8 or king-king. It's much likely he has just like a queen or a king. So we call. Yep. Very, very nice hand. Big hand there. That's why we just called the flop, because we figured he's like very polarized, so he has almost no outs. It's just that when he puts in 200 big blinds in on the river, you're like, I mean, I had a plan. But man, you make it kind of difficult for me to stick to the plan. But I guess that's the price of high stakes PLO. I hope you're enjoying today's video and we are about to head back into it. But before that, I want to make you aware of this year's Black Friday deal. On PLOmastermind.com, it is live right now. Every year around Black Friday, we put together the strongest package and the biggest discount with exclusive videos. So this year, the exclusive videos are called the Championship Collection. 36 videos, 28 hours of content of myself playing during the World Championship at 2K and 500 against tough opponents. Lots of showdowns, lots of interesting spots. You will not only see me playing, but also I'm going to show you how I prepared myself for the challenge and the afterwards analysis, looking into my own stats, my opponent's stats, and also tons of hands that went to showdown. If you're looking for this exclusive content, which is only available for Black Friday members, then make sure to head over to PLOmastermind.com and check out our Black Friday package. And then over on this table, we face a 3-bet by toilet reg, pretty easy call. And then flopping the nuts, just checking range. Over here, we can bet small, which I think would be my default. And my hand certainly wants to bet. We want to start getting some value. And then down here, I'm considering check raising. I'm blocking high clubs. Some of the straights got there. He might want to bet against them, so I'm going to check the river. I'm also unblocking king of clubs and queen of clubs. Some of those hands might feel the need to turn themselves into a bluff. Beautiful stuff here, facing the river bet. And we're going all in. Nice. And we stack our opponent with a weak flush. So that's an interesting hand, how you can say like a creative line pays off there. Here I'm a bit unsure, 3-bet pre and bet fold flop, 10 of clubs and 3. Like, hard to imagine like what else are we going to do really. And then on this turn, we could actually trap and just check because our equity is not that great and we need some of those hands. So I'm probably going to position this hand into the check jam line because we have a lot of check folds here. And the hands you don't want to bet are kind of the hands that are vulnerable on the river anyway, like super vulnerable in this case. So we just allow him to like pot or bluff maybe with some missed stuff. Again, this line is extremely high check fold in the field or just the population in general. So yeah, I mean if we're beat here, we're beat, you know. So check raise turn. Called. I mean, we can only feel good about that, I guess. So here I kind of want to have some nutted runouts, some straight draws, some 3x blockers, some pocket fives, some high heart, something like that, but not this hand. Turn is a jack. It's kind of interesting now. So the turn allows for a lot of semi-bluffs to start betting and stabbing. So that means the fold equity goes up. Obviously, in this format, like Jack-Jack is going to be a big part of my cold calling range. Where is it? Diamond. He's going to have a lot of 6x, obviously, and we have to sometimes jam, sometimes not. I think we're going to go with the pot size bet here. Nice. I mean, you could argue that you want to wait for queen jack, but like how often does queen jack come around when you raise turn? Not a great spot here, but we have some pretty nice whales in the mix, and we're closing the action, so I think my hand is going to be a clear call. I mean, it's going to flop easy enough decisions, I would think. Yeah, this is an easy decision. This is a nice one to end it up. I mean, we haven't won the hand yet, but we're happy with whatever action we can get in this flop. So far, we have 2 checks and a jam. All right. All in. Really don't mind 3 ways. It's a heads up all in. Solid turn. Over here it goes check, check on the flop. Gonna come in for a delay. Usually I kind of size down on a delay bet. Especially if the turn doesn't change the nuts that much. Because I took out a lot of the king-king combos, a good amount of them, king-9 combos and so on. So this kind of stuff happens then. So this guy's turn aggression is 42. So he should be capable and understand that my range is capped. So obviously we're always calling, and then we're reevaluating on the river. 3, pretty bad card, I guess, from my opponent. What are the main bluffs here? It's like a queen jack 10 combo. He pots the river, just piles also instantly. Against the guy that in episode number 1 didn't turn some hands into a bluff. This is pretty confusing stuff. It's pretty expensive to call as well, to be honest. Surprised he's not afraid on a 3. River bet is very high, but then 1 at showdown is also very high at 86. Blocking ace 4 and 4-6, I mean, that's pretty nice. But we're also losing against some king x. I don't think he has king x. He has like a 9 that goes crazy, 9-6-7 combo. 9-6-7, some nut flush draws maybe. Just gonna fold. I don't know. Shit. Should have called. I don't know. I wasn't really focused. I mean, it's a tough spot, obviously. Over here we call a 3-bet versus the big blind, I suppose. This guy just left. So now it's kind of the question, do we want to bet or not? And I would say not really. Some weaker hands, probably yes. Especially when we have floats that contain some sort of ace or a king in my hand. I would be interested. Now he goes for river bet. And my range is a little bit face up, I suppose. We have very good blockers against a 10 and a 7 by holding jack, jack 8. If he has aces, that would suck. But I don't think aces is betting this large anymore at this in this double paired situation. So holding jack, jack 8 deuce. I mean, jack, jack 8 is a great blocker on this board. I wonder if we should jam. Probably not. It's just too optimistic. I don't know. It feels like he has like a slow played 7 here sometimes, but we're going to go for the call. I think the Jack 8 is just like really good blockers here in this instance. Okay, nice. I'm going to call here with the 1 gapper against this bit funky player. I think if we bet this hand, we generally cannot fold against the raise. You've got to see some turns. So I'm betting small. Turn now, 7 of hearts. So now it's about if we pot this hand, we have to call a raise. And I think we definitely can. So we're going to go for the pot. It's not like he's improving that much on the 7 either, right? So we're probably going to see more calls than jams. River is pretty terrible. I mean, he's going to have a good amount of overpairs and then some jacks. Like the combination of that range. He probably has a lot more overpairs, to be fair. But it's going to be pretty expensive to find out. I just think we got a barrel. I mean, not holding ace, king, or queen, and then therefore also not holding the ace high flush draw, king high flush draw, or queen high flush draw. It's just too much to give up on. Here against Canada, I really think this guy's going to ISO wide. It's the same player. I think we got to go for it. It's fine. Like Canada is just such a wide open raising range. The PFR is 21 and they're playing deep. So I think this 3-betting range just has to be much wider than it should be, in theory. So the adjustment here, I could cold call, but my side cards are not that great. Maybe if I had like king, 10, 9 or something. But even then, I would probably just 4-bet. Oh, okay, we get it in pre 3 ways. Okay, well, I guess we gotta hit something nice. All right, well, that's something nice, I would say. In the meantime, over here, we get squeezed. I'm gonna 4-bet my hand against Quincy. I think my hand is a decent candidate for that. It just retains a ton of equity against aces, and it's not too happy calling with the other player behind. So we get it in against aces there. Okay, we're flipping 97% on the flop. Well, that's what I was talking about. It's the exact flip against this hand. Interesting. Spade. No. Okay. Over here, Canada, the active player. Most active player probably in day 1 so far, comes in with delay and against many opponents. We call. So flop checks through, bets turn, bets a river. And we have to decipher now, does he have enough bluffs? We just gotta call. We just have too much removal, I think, to the boats. So yeah, there you go. This is something we picked up throughout the day so far. Over here, I called a 3-bet with 8-8-3-3 and raised the flop against the c-bet. So on this turn, I think I'm not a huge fan of barreling because we really have a good amount of equity against the jack, and if we get ripped, sucks a lot, obviously. So just gonna check. Don't get there really. But interesting run out. We block 3-4 and 8-9. So now I'm even more interested in betting, especially considering that we don't block aces or kings. So yeah, river bet. Not sure if the sizing is really necessary. I mean, he's going to call a jack, probably regardless of the side cards. But I think it's fine. Okay, that's unfortunate. I guess he has a jack. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. But I think my hand is still completely fine in there. If I had 8-9, I would still go for a pot size value bet. Pretty interesting hand here. 9-8-7-5. Double. Could be a squeeze, 4-bet, cold call of a 3-bet. Bunch of different possibilities. Folding is not in question, of course. So it's kind of exciting because we know we're going to get involved somehow. Here's a raise, advertised at 47. There's the call, here's the squeeze. All right, we get called. And then back raised and commit. So he commits. All right, let's see a flop. Yep, this is our flop. Hopefully we can win a stack here. So I think it makes sense to wait a little bit, maybe make a one pair hand called. Our hand is really good against three-way all-in specifically. So we call. Okay, it should be a favorite here. It's 5,900 on the first one. Let's do it again. Yes, that is pretty nice in EV. And also in dollars. We take that any day. Over on this table, big blockers in play. Under the gun raises, we call, flop the second nuts. Plus 2 pair. So we're looking to definitely see the river. Question is if we're going to see showdown as well. I'm going to start with a flop call. Take it from there. Turn is a 10. To be expected here to see a second barrel. River ace, kind of interesting. It's weird because it does remove some of the ace-ace combos. Obviously, more so than ace-x combos. So do we want to call down here or not? I do have the king, which is very nice because he wants me to have 2 kings and then have a fold that way. I don't know. I feel like maybe I want to fold actually. See, bets the flop, pots the turn. It's tough to say with these wide open raising ranges in this position. I would have definitely called down. I don't like the ace on the river. I don't like the ace. But I do think we want to call down because he's not going to have a king very often and he needs to barrel through. It's not the best candidate for him. But yeah, we're going to call. It's just too high up there. That's unfortunate. I think cold calling would be the standard, so we're just going to go for that. And over on this table, we checked back on the flop, just overkill. Let's see, turn probe. Just going to keep in the weak hands. And here we have veiny folding versus squeeze. I'm going to lead this flop. A lot of my cold calling range will resolve around this kind of stuff. Here we call. Opponent has random stuff. So a nice example of positioning the good stuff in the check back range. Over here we get called at always barreling this turn. Just sort of geometrically setting up bets. River is a jack. I think we just want to follow through here. On the jack, I mean, we're going to have some better bluffs, I suppose, but just going to ship. Hope for the best. That's not it. It's unfortunate. Even though we did have the clubs, I think because we're not holding any high clubs, it's fine for us to follow through. he definitely knows that the hand can be a bluff. And he also knows that he has no showdown, I think, ace-5 there on the river club. So it's interesting. Maybe he thinks he does have showdown against blockers, straight blockers that give up. Over here, call 3-bet. And calling flop. This will be a spot where I just surrender turn. Just not enough side equity here. And then on the river, it's easy to overdo it. But with a 3 and a queen and a 4, I think we just got to go for it then. I don't know if he's going to call or not, but it doesn't really matter. Just got to like take this combo and put it to war. Put it to use, so to speak. Nice. And I mean, on this river, regardless of whether he calls or not, the whole point is we're causing problems, and that's what we're doing. We're here to cause problems. We're not here to check it down. We're not here to pay it off. We are here to cause problems. That is the main mindset, right? So even if he calls, finds the catcher, maybe it's even a hand that shouldn't catch, it's all good because we had a good combo. We're going to war. Like that's the objective there.